Hello and welcome in for another edition of Happy Bump Day, brother. Seen exclusively here on Markout Moments. I'm Palm Water Dave. We're gonna cover the birthdays for today, July 6th. Excited to be with you. We got a few to do today, so let's jump right in. First up, we're gonna go with Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan made his joined WWE in 2013. Went to the Performance Center, made his debut on NXT in 2017, made it up to the main roster in 2019, and then promptly lost his freaking mind, ran his mouth, said a bunch of stuff that was not nice or politically correct, um, and pretty much tanked him. It was all downhill from there for Lars. But, he did his time, so every, happy birthday to Lars. Let's move it right along. This is Leatherface. There was several incarnations of Leatherface. This Leatherface was born Richard Taurus, a Canadian professional wrestler. Made his debut as Rick Patterson in Winnipeg. Wrestled for NWA All-Star. He was Canadian Tag Team Champion. He was the last NWA Central States champion with Stevie Ray. But in 1993, he went to Japan, and Victor Quiones, that might be a name familiar to you, gave him the moniker Leatherface, and he wrestled he did that in Japan. He also made some lucha appearances, and he lost a hair versus hair match to Vampiro in 1992 as Rick Patterson. He also lost one of those matches to Latin Lover, but we don't have the date for that. Next up, we have Black Buffalo. Black Buffalo, also known as Kenseiko Yamada. I guess you could call him pretty much a journeyman wrestler in Japan. He made his debut in '93 for IWA Japan, Osaka Pro Wrestling. He does some freelancing, but he is 51 years old today. Moving right along. This young lady is Kaylee Armstrong. If you haven't heard of her, you soon will. She's born Destiny Brown in 1994. She's 31 years old. Had a hell of a track and field career at USC, and actually holds world record a world record in the sprint medley relay. So she had a hell of a track and field career in college. She went to WWE. She signed with WWE in October of 23. Made her screen debut on NXT Level Up in September of 24. But she is on May 28th episode of Evolve this year. She became the first ever Evolve Women's Champion. I think the sky's the limit for this young lady. I really, really do. And on next week's episode of Evolve, she's going to go head to head with Natalya. And she's not getting Natalya. She's getting her in natty mode. So it ought to be interesting. I think the women's division, WWE's got a very, very bright future for years to come. Because, they're deep. Their women's division is so deep. You see what we got on NXT. You see what they got in on the main roster. They can cherry pick the TNA knockouts whenever they want to. Now they have Evolve. It's just so much depth. Women's wrestling is going to be healthy for so long. And then finally, Vince McMahon, often known as Senior, Vincent Jess McMahon. He was born in 1914. He died in 84 at the age of 7, almost made it to 70. He started as a promoter, promoting Madison Square Garden. After World War II, he started Capital Wrestling Corporation and later renamed it WWF. he was broadcasting wrestling on Wednesday nights on the Dumont Network. He did it from an old barn in Washington, D.C. Fabulous Moolah claimed that McMahon was one of the first promoters to split gate proceedings with his wrestlers, unlike his son. McMahon believed the job of a promoter should be kept backstage and behind the scenes and never interfere in an action in the ring. So he was a lot different than Vince Jr. He sold the company to Vince, and the rest was history. So if you're happy with everything that Vince McMahon did, if you're happy with what Junior's done with the WWF, then you have this man, you have Vince Sr. to thank. And if you don't like what Vince did, well, blame Vince Sr.'s pullout game for being weak, because that's what we got stuck with. Hey, we'll see you. That's all for today. We'll see you tomorrow for Happy Bump Day, brother, here on Mark Out Moments. Thanks for joining me.